The beat is on me. The beat is on me. The beat is on me.
Rox D. Xebec, the man who was the dominant pirate before Roger, a pirate so influential and charismatic, multiple big-name pirates like Big Mom, Kaido, and even Whitebeard were under his banner. The man speculated to be Roger's most dangerous foe by Sengoku himself is kinda overrated. Welcome everyone, hope you're having a good day, and today I want to discuss the most mysterious pirate in all of One Piece, Rox D. Xebec, particularly because I've seen some tier lists that have him above Prime Roger and Prime Beard and a few others, and not gonna lie, it makes zero sense to me for numerous reasons given the timeline of the story. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe for more content, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So let's just go ahead and rip the band-aid right off. We, as the audience, don't know the true events of God's Valley. A lot of people tend to take things at face value when we get information never shown in the story, but almost all the time, Oda expands on things much further when he actually gets around to revealing the truth. Using the official Viz translations, the truth that Sengoku reveals is that supposedly Garp and Roger need to team up at God's Valley. Now, I'm not saying it isn't possible for Garp and Roger to have 2v1 Rox, but the explicit statement by Sengoku says that Roger and Garp teamed up to defeat and break apart the entirety of the Rox pirates, not specifically Rox himself. Another problem with this statement is that it's hard to honestly imagine Roger and Garp being able to solo someone who is supposedly Roger's greatest foe, plus the combined forces of his entire crew. Now, obviously, Kaido wasn't at his prime yet and didn't even have his Del Fruit during the incident, but Big Mom, Shiki, and Whitebeard, they were most likely Rox's heaviest hitters. The idea of these guys soloing someone greater than or equal to Roger plus his combined forces is such a stretch to say the least. And to add on, the statement by Sengoku leaves out the giant detail of who exactly was fighting who during the conflict. As the audience, we know that the Rox pirates, Roger pirates, and Garp and the Marines were at the battle, but the Kuma flashback revealed that the Gods Knights were also present. With such a huge variable added in, it's genuinely hard to speculate with the little information we already have on how the battle truly went down. Now that we established not knowing the true details of the battle, that leads me into the main problem of Rox being ranked so highly amongst the community. Bro is dead, or supposedly he is at the very least. We don't know how he died or who exactly killed him, but he's not present at all in the story. And it's for that reason why I can never put him above the old era goats like Roger, Whitebeard, Garp, or Sengoku. It just doesn't make sense given how we know characters grow in power in the story. It's stated by Rayleigh when training Luffy during the time skip that the stronger opponents you face, the more your haki will grow. I fully believe it's true when Sengoku states that Rox was Roger's greatest foe, but only up to the actual God's Valley incident. I'm sure the battle they had was one of the most intense, extreme diff fights ever in the story. And because of this, there's absolutely no way Roger, Garp, and the other participants of God's Valley didn't leave the island stronger than before. If Rox gave Roger the hardest fight he's experienced at that time, then there's absolutely no way his haki didn't bloom. Furthermore, you don't have to be explicitly winners for your haki to bloom as well. Luffy's haki grew against Katakuri and Kaido, and he was on the losing end for the majority of both battles. This shows that just being in intense battles is more than enough for your haki to bloom. Plus, the other glaring issue that's hard to ignore is that in the One Piece timeline, the Gods Valley incident took place in the year 1486. During the Oden flashback when the Roger and Whitebeard pirates fought each other, it was the year 1498. That's a 12-year gap in time. If you say Rox is above Roger, you'd be saying Roger has remained stagnant for more than a decade. As we established, that's impossible given how Haki Blooms work. Plus, 12 years is just flat out a long time. Some might say Roger is still weaker than Rox because of his illness, but that makes no sense either because we clearly see him having an equal match with Whitebeard for 3 days straight and flat out tells the Marines they should have sent Garp or Sengoku instead. You have to say that not only Roger but the other top tiers like Whitebeard, Garp, and Sengoku have remained the same for 12 whole years in order to justify Rox still being on top, and that's just genuinely a stretch to say the least. This is simply just how shonens work. If a character dies while the story continues, the people who remain alive will continue to grow stronger. I'm not saying Rox is weak at all, he was the reigning dominant pirate of the era before Roger. I'm sure when Oda shows the actual battle, we'll see an incredible display of power from him. But because of the timeline progressing without him for so long, it's very hard to keep him in discussions of strongest of all time when he has clearly been surpassed. Again, saying Rox has remained the top dog for 12 whole years after his supposed death makes no sense in my opinion. Far weaker characters have grown significantly in much shorter amounts of time throughout the entire story. If Oda pulls a Madara Uchiha and somehow makes him return, then I think we can bring Rox back as a contender for the strongest of the old era. But until then, it makes very little sense. If you like what you heard, subscribe for more content in the future. Hope you all have a great day and take care. Peace.